Yo, what's going on, guys? GZTV. I know my return has been long awaited to the YouTube space, but I have this video and like 5 more videos coming for the rest of the day, so stay tuned for that. But first of all, we're going to go over the last 2 days. Tuesday and Wednesday, I missed those days, so Tuesday and Wednesday we're going to be talking about some basketball games. The main headlines were from yesterday's action, mostly likely because of recency bias, and I know more about yesterday's games than I did the game before. The Tuesday's games weren't very interesting at all. The closest game was a 4-point differential, and it really wasn't a great game either. But let's move into it. Speaking of that 4-point differential game, the first game from Tuesday we're going to talk about is the Warriors and Magic. Warriors fall to the Magic by 4. Suns clinched the first seed in the Pacific with that win. With this game, the Suns are their division champions. So we're starting to see some clinchings. Let me move this a little bit. We're starting to see some clinchings in the NBA, so it's kind of big time news there. Looking at the box score, again, Jordan Poole has been an absolute monster for the Warriors, although they haven't really been winning as often as they should be recently. He had 26. Curry's kind of taken some time off. He might have a serious injury. Otto Porter, 14 and 15. Did I? What games have I covered? I did not cover Tuesday's games. I guarantee you guys I didn't. But yeah, 14 and 15. That looks familiar for Otto Porter. But let's look at the Magic side. They were the winning team. Nothing impressive from the Magic whatsoever. I mean, they got the win. It was more of a team effort. Nobody was really impressive. Warriors honestly played a pretty solid game. It just wasn't enough. Hawks and Knicks. Young scores 45 in his return to the Madison Square Garden. He's a villain in New York. All the fans hate him. Hawks beat the Knicks by 6. That's a big time win. Obviously, the Knicks aren't having as good of a season as the Hawks. Not by much, but yeah. Let's just look at the box score, though. Hawks. The box score says quite a bit of things. Obviously, it doesn't tell the full story, but you had 10 and 10 for Gallinari, 45 for Trey, 32 for Bogdanovich off the bench. 6-man of the year contender, I think so. Put him in the conversation with Jordan Clarkson and Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is undoubtedly winning it, though, in my opinion. Looking at the Knicks, Julius Randle didn't play, but we had Alec Burks putting up 21, 30 and 13 for RJ Barrett. By the way, RJ Barrett has been playing exceptional recently. Man, playing exceptional. That's all I gotta say. Let's move on to the Bulls and the Bucks. Antetokounmpo returns. Bucks roll to a 28-point victory over the Bulls. Like I've been saying before, the Bulls haven't really been playing as good a basketball as they should really recently. They're still a 42 and 30 team, and I want them to stay at the seat they're at so my Celtics can play them. And I could possibly go to a Bulls and Celtics playoff game. That would be awesome. But we're looking at this, DeRozan had 21, Vooch had 22, Levine had 21. I mean, Caruso has got to be more productive as a starter. They didn't have. I was off the bench. Interesting. Okay. But looking at the Bucks, they're just a great team when Giannis is on the court. Giannis put up 25 and 17, and we had Drew Holiday with 27. Without Middleton, they got it done, so that's pretty awesome. Looking at the Clippers and Nuggets, Jokic and the Nuggets bounced back with a 12-point win over the LA Clippers. Obviously, the LA Clippers don't have a lot to work with. They have Terrence Mann coming off the bench and putting up 24 points, but other than that, they really don't have anything. They have inconsistencies throughout their starting lineup with guys like Marcus Morris and Reggie Jackson, who one night would put up 30, and the other night they'd put up like 10. So it's just a big inconsistency. I don't see it as a huge issue considering they don't have any all-star talents. I mean, they're holding up pretty decently for a team with literally no all-star talent. They're 36 and 38. They're still in the race to make the playoffs and possibly not the playoffs, the play-in, and possibly Paul George returning. I don't know if he's going to return or not, but looking at the Nuggets, Jokic had a great game, of course, probably the MVP of the league at 30 and 14. That was Tuesday. Let's move on to Wednesday because my Celtics took care of business against Utah. This was on paper the best matchup of last night, and it didn't come out to be that way, but it came in my favor as I'm a Celtics fan, and I love seeing us destroy teams. Tatum and Brown sizzle. Celtics rolled to a 28-point win over the Jazz, beating a 45 and 28 team. by 28. That is a big statement in this league. 14 and 11 for Gobert, anyways. 37 for Donovan Mitchell. Although, did that really matter for Donovan? I don't know. Again, Royce O'Neal. I think a big problem with the Jazz is that Royce O'Neal is not that big of a scoring option. He shot shot 4 shots in 31 minutes. Think about it. That's like 1 shot every 8 minutes he was in the game. Like, that's just, I don't know. He needs to take more initiative. He needs to take more shots. But looking at the Celtics, Tatum had 26, Robert Williams had 12 and 10, and Jaylen Brown had 26. Again, it's really nice to see the Celtics guys, or the two Celtics stars, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, come out and play great together. If they both have 25 plus, are we really going to lose a game? I don't know. We have pretty decent support off the bench. Knicks and Hornets. Knicks bounce back. Buried in the Knicks snap the Hornets' 5-game win streak. They win by 15. Looking at the Knicks here, Obi Toppin had a good game, 18 and 11. And you saw 30 points from RJ Barrett once again, back-to-back 30-point performances. Like I said, maybe next year he will have potential to be the next second most improved player in the last 5 years. That would be pretty cool. That would be a cool storyline. Looking at the Hornets, 32 points from LaMelo is all you're going to get. Again, they have a guy on the starting lineup that's not a big scoring presence. We're talking about Mason Plumlee. He took 4 shots in 27 minutes, which again equates to about a shot every 7 minutes. That's a problem with a lot of NBA teams is there's guys out there. Obviously, he's a center. He's like a traditional center, but he needs to take more shots. I've been saying that. Let's move on to Hawks and Pistons. So Pistons, big win here. Obviously, it doesn't matter. They're probably out of the playoffs, but Grant and Cunningham lead the Pistons to a rare rout of the Hawks. I don't think we've seen the Pistons beat a team like the Hawks in a while. But looking at the losing side, the Hawks here, Trae Young, 21 points. Is that it? That's pretty much it for the Hawks roster. Quinn Capella, another center on a basketball team that needs to make more of a contribution. To be honest, he took five shots in 17 minutes isn't bad. That's about a shot every 3 minutes. That's not terrible, but maybe him not being a big scoring option can kind of weigh the Hawks down a little bit. But looking at the other side of things, you had Jeremy Grant putting up 21. This wasn't the greatest basketball game. It was kind of boring overall, but yeah, shout out to the Pistons for getting that win, I guess. I don't think it mattered. Kings, Pacers, Jones' last-second tip-in lifts the Kings over the Pacers by 1. I heard Kenny Beachum talk about Davion Mitchell finally getting an opportunity to play with De'Aaron Fox injured, which is really cool. No way. Wait, what? Who played besides the starters on the Kings? I'm so confused looking at ESPN here. I didn't watch this game, but Davion Mitchell had 25. Looking at the Pacers, this was a good game for the Pacers. O'Shea Brissett had 10 and 10, 20 for Goga. Goga has been going insane. This was a really good game, actually. 13 and 15 for Halliburton, 25 for Buddy Hield. I think what's really weighing them down is this Anderson guy, this Justin Anderson guy, taking a total of 8 shots through 31 minutes. That's like a shot every 4 minutes. He only had 5 points. He's weighing them down. He definitely needs to play a little better if they want to win games like that. Warriors Heat. Short-handed Warriors get past the frustrated Heat. This is one of the big headlines. Are the Heat going downhill? Because they're 47 and 26, but losing to damn near a G League level Warriors team, like when the Nuggets don't have Jokic. The Warriors didn't have any of their big three, and they beat this damn pretty much fully healthy, besides Tyler Hero, by 14. Obviously, Tyler Hero can put up 20, maybe 20 points a game, but man, we're talking about a Warriors team that doesn't have a single star on their lineup that night. But it was some defining moments for some guys that didn't get to play as much for the Warriors, and I'm proud. I'm proud of guys like Kuminga putting up 22. Obviously, Wiggins had a great game with 22. 30 points for Jordan Poole, 22 for Damian Lee off the damn bench. That's some efficiency. What's the problem with the Heat side? Well, 20 for Jimmy Butler, 25 for Bam, 26 for Lowry. PJ Tucker, PJ Tucker plays 36 damn minutes and puts up 6 shots. again, I'm making this a focal point because a lot of NBA teams have faulty things going on here. Like, you're taking a shot every 6 minutes and you're on the damn starting lineup. That's not good. I think you should be taking a shot every 3 minutes, to be honest, if you're a starter. If you're a bench player, maybe one shot every six. I don't know. I feel like any player should take one shot every 3 fucking minutes, to be honest. But, Heat are struggling. I definitely think you can equate that to PJ Tucker not being a good scoring option because he played a damn good game. But, I don't know. Nets and Grizzlies, this is my other headline, back-to-back headlines. Again, recency bias. The post-game interview is really cool. Desmond Bain had an interesting post-game interview with all the teammates grabbing his head. He was about to square up on him. It was kind of funny. Bain leads the Grizzlies past the Nets as Irving scores 43 points. And Irving, big news today, the mask mandate has been lifted, and Irving is going to be able to play all home games. Every game, matter of fact. And that's going to be a big problem for the NBA, because although he played this game, they lost by 12. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, let's just look at the box score. Kevin Durant, my fantasy guy, doing pretty good for me, 35 and 11. Let me show you guys my fantasy, actually. That's an interesting one. Let me show you guys my fantasy. I'm up by damn near 40 points. And although he has 4 more games left to me, I'm still up. I'm looking damn good. I'm looking pretty damn good. We're going to have to see how the rest of that matchup. And by the way, if I win this, I go to the fantasy championship. I'm probably going to get like 3rd place in our league, which is really solid. Out of 8, I mean, that's or 9. It might have been out of 9. But by the way, Kevin Durant had 35 and 11. Kyrie had 43. Big problem was this Edwards guy, I guess. Kessler Edwards. I've never heard of him. He took 3 shots through 20 minutes of play. Again, that's a shot every 6 minutes. So obviously he probably shouldn't be starting, but obviously they probably haven't had an injury with, I don't even know who would have been injured for them. But Grizzlies played a damn good game. You can't really be mad at the Nets too much. Dylan Brooks had 21, 16 and 10 for Trey Jones or Tyus Jones, whichever one it is. I lose track. It's Tyus Jones. 23 for Desmond Bain, 60% fucking three-point shooting that game. 14 and 10 for Brandon Clark off the bench, and 23 for DeAnthony Melton. Shout out to DeAnthony Melton through 27 minutes. He shot 8 for 13. So, this is a statement win. The Grizzlies are here. They're showing you guys that they're damn contenders, and I'm proud of them for that. Suns and Timberwolves. Ayton has a career high 35 points. A career high. That's crazy. I guess he's not a big scoring option. Suns rallied past the T-Wolves. Devin Booker was talking all sorts of shit. A lot of technicals given to the T-Wolves. Let's just look at the Suns real quick. We had a 35 and 14 game for DeAndre. We had 28 for D-Book. Looking at the Timberwolves side, 12 and 12 for Vanderbilt, 15 and 11 for Cat. And that's about it. I mean, D'Lo definitely needs to play a little better. And again, I don't know. He shot 3 for 9. He didn't play very good. I think D'Lo is definitely who you can blame that loss on. I don't like playing the blame game, but I think D'Lo is a big reason they lost that game. He's very inconsistent as a player, but it's whatever. You can't win them all, and you're playing against easily the best team in the league. Like, there's no debate at this point. The Suns are winning game after game without Chris Paul, and they're nearing the 60-win mark. I don't think any other team's really close, to be honest. Let's move to Magic Thunder. Very, very uninteresting game. Obviously, not really any stipulations going with it. Maladon's 25 points helped the Thunder top Magic. They end their 10-game skid. They lost 10 straight games before this. But I guess shout-outs to the Thunder. Well, let's just talk about the Magic first. 11 and 10 for Bamba, 17 and 11 for Cole Anthony. You can't really blame anything. I mean, Mo Bamba definitely could have done a little more. He had a good game, but scoring-wise, he definitely could have shot the ball a little better. Maybe you can equate it to that. Brazdeikis is putting up 3 off the bench. I don't know, dude. But looking at the Thunder, you had 21 for Isaiah Roby, 21 for Trey Man. Trey Man's been playing damn good recently. 25 for Maladon, and 12 and 11 for Krejci. Is he that like Croatian guy they picked up? He might have been. Very good game, honestly. They didn't have Kenrick Williams or Derek Favors either, so they played really good without those guys. So, shout out to the Thunder, man. I'm off the screen. I don't really care. kind of creepy. That looks very creepy. But sorry. Looking at the Rockets and Mavs, the Doncic-less Mavs win the game. I mean, they pull away. They beat the last place Rockets by 19, literally the worst team in the NBA. It's a really entertaining team to watch. They're just last in the league. Let's see. For the Rockets, you had 12 and 10 for Christian Wood, and you had 14 and 11 for Sengun off the bench. Eric Gordon, I'm surprised he's still playing for the Rockets, but he only had 2 points in 23 minutes, so I guess that's a reason they lost. But looking at the Mavs, without Luka, you have Spencer Dinwiddie putting up 26, Jalen fucking Brunson playing great, 28, so that's awesome. Moving on to Sixers, Lakers, of course the Lakers are going to win. That's very characteristic of their franchise right now. Joel Embiid and the Sixers hold off the LeBron-less Lakers. LeBron wasn't there, to be fair. They won by 5. Well, what can I say? The Sixers are amazing. 20 points for Tobias, 30 and 10 for Joel, 21 for Maxey, 24 for Harden. Looking at the Lakers side, Dwight had 24, Russell Westbrook had 24, Carmelo had 20, Malik Monk had 23. This was actually a really good game, one of the better games of that night. Austin Reeves is a big issue. I mean, you're shooting 6 shots for 29 minutes and you're putting up 4 points. Like, come on now. Like, you got to do better than that, especially without LeBron on the court. You got to take initiative. Moving on to Spurs and Trailblazers, the last game I'm going to talk about. Murray has 28 points. The Spurs root the Trailblazers, beat them by 37, a bit unnecessary, but Trailblazers get massacred. Kelvin Johnson at 26, that's worth noting, but obviously DeJounte Murray, 28. Looking at the Trailblazers, you had Eubanks with 20, and Ben McLemore coming off the bench and putting up 23, and he's a damn good shooter. 7 for 9, 3 for 4 from 3. Can you really blame anyone for this? I mean, Justice Winslow didn't score at all, but he might have got hurt. CJ Ellaby put up 2 in 20 minutes, so yeah, that's going to do it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. It's always been GZTV giving you guys the NBA recaps. We're going to be doing that later tonight. We're going to be doing college basketball later tonight. But as of now, I'm going to go play My Rise, do Showcase, and then probably go to dinner, come back, watch some games, Yeah, we're going to be watching some college basketball for sure. Probably not as much NBA tonight, so if I seem uneducated on my broadcast later for the NBA recaps, that's why. I'm not going to be watching a lot of NBA, but